Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James, where I do what I want, when I want, and today I want to get into some astrology. We're going to get into the 10th part of my Planets Through the Houses series, and today we're going to get into the rebellious, adventurous, crazy, unique sign of Uranus. Planet of Uranus. So let's get into it. So whenever I see Uranus in a chart, this indicates the rebellious streak in a soul, and this particular placement will show me where the soul likes to be rebellious or do things off the cuff or in their own way or do things that people go, what? Like, what? That's what Uranus is. It gives a very weird avant-garde streak to the soul, and let's go through the houses to see what that indicates. So within the first house, if Uranus is in the first house, this is gonna make for a person who comes off very unique, very strange, very just like avant-garde in their appearance and the way they dress and how they speak and how they just appear. Without them even speaking, they themselves come off weird. So this gives me very much like Brooklyn vibes or even just Gen Z vibes. I really beg to make the wager that Gen Z has a lot of Uranus in its chart generationally. Like, as far as, I bet like a lot of Gen Zers have Uranus in their chart, because if you think about it, the way they appear, the way they look is very avant-garde and unique. This could also lend into very like non-binary territory as well, or very bisexual or gender fluid looking people or people, yeah. So like these people will always appear very strange, very striking, very just like they don't fit the norm if you have Uranus in the first house. If you have Uranus in the first house, something about you is, I don't want to say off-putting, but it takes a unique eye to be like, damn, that's hot, or wow, that's cool. Like, because you are cool. You are cool in your own right. You do what you want to do. Like, you dress how you want to dress. You appear how you want to appear, and you don't follow any social constructs or norms, or there's something about you that just doesn't fit a societal standard, and you're kind of okay with that. Sometimes that can work for you and work against you, but it is the way it is. It's kind of like your superpower, you know? So yeah, that was Uranus in the first house. How does it feel to stick out like a sore thumb in a good way? How does it feel to be so avant-garde and so cutting edge and so striking? How does that feel to get attention wherever you go because you're just like the wild card? How does that feel? It must feel nice. So with Uranus in the second house, this is going to be someone who cultivates and maintains and gets money and resources in a very weird way. However you get your money, you probably get your money through technology or cryptocurrency or something very technological, or you just get it in a weird way. Like, people go, you do what for a job? Like, you do what? Like, but more centered, like, more down to earth. If Uranus could be down to earth, which is kind of hard, I'd say this is something in the realm of like technology. Maybe you have found a way to make money in a unique way from technology. Wherever Uranus is, it puts a unique touch on it. It puts a weird, quirky touch on it. So you probably get your money from some weird, quirky technology, or you have found a way to make money from some like far out futuristic technology, or you just get your money in a weird way. Like, yeah, and your morals and your values are also aligned with that as well. Like, how you think and what is important to you is probably so strange to others, like to the point where you don't even bother telling people because they just never get it. Like, you're just like, I'm not gonna even, they don't get it, you know? So yeah, that is, you also probably come from a very unique blended family of some sort. Like, I'd say like maybe a blended family, like almost like the Brady Bunch, but like interracial and like from a gay mom or gay parents, or like you just, your family setup, the family you grew up in is probably very, very dynamic, like very striking, very weird. When you guys go out as a group, people are like, wait, they're a family? They're all related? Like, wait, what? Like, huh? So yeah, that's Uranus in the second house. How does it feel to get your money in such a unique, quirky way? How does it feel to come from a family that was also just equally unique and quirky? How does it feel to be so cutting edge with your money and so technologically driven with your money? How does that feel? It must feel nice. So with Uranus in the 3rd house, this is gonna make for a very, very smart person, especially in the realm of technology and invention. I would really encourage this person to invent something or work on inventing something. Your mind is very, very futuristic and far out, and the way you think, people probably can't really understand what you're thinking. Like, the way you think is probably so abstract and so weird that to normal people, they're just like, I don't really understand where he's coming from or where she is going or how they think or operate. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what? Like, but you get it. And like, those that get it. The girls that get it. And the ones that do. And the ones that don't. You know, and it just is the way it is. You are a very futuristic thinker. You are a very avant-garde, unique thinker and communicator. The way you communicate is probably very just like striking to people. You're probably like, heads turn when you speak because it's probably unexpected. You probably say unexpected shit. You probably say the thing that needs to be said, but you probably do it at the most awkward times, you know? And so, yeah, I would really encourage you to really put that uniqueness into an invention. Put that into something, and I promise, like, you will probably be renowned for it. Yeah. So with Uranus in the 4th house, this is gonna make for a person who their mom was probably very strange. Their mom was probably very weird, very off the cuff, very like, that's your mom, or your mom was probably gay or bisexual. Your mom was very just like, the home you grew up in and the childhood you grew up in was very weird. I don't want to say weird. I hate that word weird because it's not weird. It's just not up to societal norms. Like, it wasn't of the norm. It was probably very cutting edge and avant-garde and just unique. I like that word better. Not weird, unique. You grew up in a very unique setting for your upbringing. And like, yeah, and so at home, you also, growing up, because you grew up in such a unique type of situation, you almost emulate that in your adult life. You have an apartment or a home that has weird trinkets or unique things, and like, it's just very, I don't know, like, you are probably also, when you go home, nobody can find you. You're probably just gone. Like, people are like, where the hell did he or she go? Where did they go? Like, what? Like, oh my God, I can't find my friend. And like, it's like, you don't want to be seen until you're ready to be seen. And like, your home itself, the home that you live in, could probably be not up to societal's norms. Like, I'd say this makes for a person who's a nomad, or like a person who backpacks, like, or someone who just is like, I don't want to say homeless, but like, you know, someone like a vagabond, a nomad, a traveler, someone who doesn't really need a home, and like, they're just okay on the road. They're okay like not having a home, and they have made the world their home. They have made their car their home. They have made their travels and their journeys their home. The world is their home. Like, that gives me very much those vibes where it's like, when you tell people where you live or what your living situation is, they go, what? How? Like, huh? Are you sure that's safe? Are you sure that's comfortable for you? Like, it's very that, like, yeah. So how does it feel to be so, you know, unique with your living situation? How does it feel to like have a home that's so unique, or that you have done something with that no one else have ever thought of, or be from a family, or have a mom that was a little, you know, off the cuff? How does that feel? I'm sure she or they passed something down to you that was like very unique, and it's a personality trait of yours now, you know? So with Uranus in the 5th house is gonna be someone who, when they create whatever they create, they are gonna create something that is so futuristic and just so like light years ahead of what anyone else is doing, that it almost gets people to scratch their head like, huh? And for you, for some reason, it's almost as if like, it strikes people so much that like, people don't get it until maybe years later. Like, maybe 6 months later, 5 months later, you see people doing it and you're like, wait, I came up with that first. Like, wait, what? Like, you guys called me weird and now they're doing it just like that? Like, whatever you create is very like that. It's because it's so futuristic that it takes people to really, it needs to marinate. It needs to marinate with people. And once they marinate with it, then they're like, Oh wait, actually that is very cool. Now I want to do that too. Like it's very that. You are also gonna have very unique children. And the partners that you attract in your dating life are also very unique, very just like avant-garde, very, you know, very just unique, rebellious types of people you just love. You're just like, if I could just get someone with a pink streak in their hair and like gold teeth and tattoos everywhere and just like that is your type. You just love the weirdos. You love the rebellious people. You love the ones that just say, fuck society, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Like, I'm gonna look how I wanna look. Like, you thrive off of people like that, whether it be in their appearance, in their mindset, in who they are, their lifestyle. You just love a good rebel. Someone who can stand in their own right and is just like, so how does that feel? How does it feel to attract those people and go after those people? How does it feel to also create something and things that are just so cutting edge that people don't get it in the moment, but they get it later, and you set trends? How does that feel? Your children are also gonna be you times two. They're gonna be rebellious. They're gonna be people who you're gonna try to wrangle in, and they're gonna be like, F you, mom, I live this way, you know, like, that's so cute. That's so cute. Okay, so with Uranus in the 6th house, this is gonna make for a person who, you know, in their day-to-day, they need a lot of variety, a lot of change. If their days are the same, they're gonna disrupt it, or it's gonna be hard for them to get in line with. It's gonna be hard for you to maintain a schedule or report to a job and do a 9 to 5 and eat salad every day or go to the gym every day. If your days are very just by the book, the same, oh my God, you literally get sick. You like feel sick. Like you literally feel like, oh my God, I'm in a box. I cannot do this. Like you need freedom. You need freedom in your schedule. You need variety in your schedule. I would highly suggest that you do what you want to do during your days. If you wake up and you want to go for a run, go for a run. But don't hold it to you, even to yourself. Don't hold it to you to be like, oh, well, tomorrow I'm going to go for a run as well, because you don't know how that energy is going to strike. You don't know what Uranus is going to do that day, because you'll wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm not running. I don't want to do that. And like, the more you force yourself to go for that run, you're just going to be like, no. So what you need to do is do what you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Literally, you have the power to do whatever you want to do, and Uranus is giving you the authority to kind of be rebellious with your schedule, be free from a schedule, not report to a 9 to 5 job. This gives me very much entrepreneur vibes, where it's like, this person cannot handle authority. They cannot handle structure. They cannot do it. You need ultimate freedom, ultimate autonomy. You can't do it. You just can't. And you're speaking to someone who has the placement, so that's why I speak so passionately about it. Like, I have that placement, and so it's the hardest thing for me to wake up and put expectations on myself. I wake up and I do this is why my intro is, hi, my name is Jupiter James, where I do what I want, when I want. It's because I've submitted to my Uranus in my 6th house of scheduling and health and fitness and my career and my service. It's that I cannot do things that are expected of me or that is in the structure, even on myself. So I have to, in the moment, decide what feels good to me. What do I want to do today? Do I want to do what I did yesterday? No, most likely not. I want to do it in a different time, in a different hour, in a different way. Like, every day needs to be different for you. So I would really just encourage finding a way to shake up your schedule in a way where you do get everything done, but maybe one day you wake up and you go for a run at 6 a.m. and then the next day you get up and you sleep in and you lollygag, you watch Netflix, and you go for a run at 8 p.m. You know, like, every day needs to be different. Every day needs to you just need to go with the flow as far as your daily routines, your schedules, and the work you do in this life. You're probably gonna be in a technologically driven field or a very cutting edge field where someone's pioneering something or it's technologically driven, like, you know, YouTube, the internet, or just in a big organization that is pushing boundaries or revolutionizing something, you know? Yeah. So with what is it, Neptune, with Uranus in the 7th house, this is gonna make for someone who attracts business partnerships and people who allow them to be free. You and the people you align yourself with, it's almost like you guys want to be together, but you want to be apart. It's like long distance relationships or business partnerships who they sign you a contract and they say, all right, go do what you want. Like, that's the businesses you attract. The businesses you attract and the jobs you have, and it's just like they sign you. Yes, you guys are affiliated with each other, but they leave you to be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. There's no one on you saying you got to do something, you got to do this way, because it won't work. Like, again, wherever Uranus is, it creates a rebellious streak. And so in the house of marriage and relationship and business, it's gonna make for a person who, yeah, they want to be in union with people, but they need freedom. If it's too constricted or too tightly wound, they almost hyperventilate. They're just like, I cannot do this. This is not my life. You start to feel not like yourself because you are just probably so independent. You are probably so independent that you attract people who also value independence. And on a lower level, this can make for people who you attract a lot of toxic relationships, or relationships that are very quick and fleeting and just like they don't serve a purpose, and you're like, wait, what? But I would encourage on a higher level, in a higher sense, to just own who you are, right? And once you own who you are and you say, you know what, I'm good with myself, I am all right by myself, and I feel like the ideal relationship for you would be someone who they travel a lot, right? Like, they're here, you see them maybe once or twice a week. Once or twice a week, if that. Like, even that's probably cutting it. Like, you need someone who's traveling around the world, and when they touch down in New York, or they touch down in the city that you're from, like, y'all vibe, y'all kick it, it's the best ever, and then they're boop, on a plane, gone. And for you'd like, that's the perfect relationship for me, because I can breathe, and there's trust there, but we allow each other to just breathe and do our own thing. Like, that's the ideal relationship and business partnerships that you want, you crave, and that you attract. And so how does it feel to be such a rebel and have an unconventional way of relationships, or being in relationship with businesses and people? I know as a kid you probably would wonder, like, damn, like, what gives? Like, is it my breath? Is it this? But it's just the energy that you exude. You are probably such an independent person that the people you attract are equally as independent. They don't really they want union, but they don't want it, you know? So, yeah. So, with Uranus in the 8th house, this is gonna make for a person who is probably very, I want to say, bisexual in the bedroom. This person is probably very weird in the bedroom. You like very weird, kinky things. You like to get down in the bedroom, and you like just the naughtiest, craziest things. Like, you are a rebel in the bedroom, and like, you probably, I don't know why this gives me like dominatrix vibes. I don't know why that does. I don't know, that just came to my mind, but that's what it makes me feel like. You are someone who is just like, when you tell people what you like in the bedroom, they're like, what? Like, you like what? Oh my God. Oh, I don't know if I can fulfill that. Like, whoa, like, but yeah, that's just how it is. So, and also when it comes to intimacy, you don't really like to get too deep. You like to stay on the surface of things and maybe have fun and like, but to get too deep emotionally, you probably don't like that. Like, and you probably also will end up in the field of like doing astrology on the internet, or doing something that is spiritual but on the internet. Like, again, Uranus is a very technological sign. So you yourself, I don't know if I said this already, but you are probably bisexual. You probably like both in the bedroom. You probably like to, and the way that you get resources from others is probably also technologically driven, or just very quirky and unique. You have a very unique way about you, which is awesome. So with 9th house in Uranus in the 9th house is going to make for someone who, what they believe is very, very quirky, very avant-garde and strange. Like, if people were to ever ask you what you believe in, whether it be your family or your friends, people give you the side eye. They give you like the bombastic side eye. They're like, You believe what? You believe in aliens? You probably believe so heavily in aliens. You believe in like technology and AI and that's what you believe in. You believe in like technology. You probably think that technology is gonna save the world in some way, shape, or form. Like you hail technology and aliens and just the weirdest shit. You just love it, and like people probably can't get down with that, but that's okay. Like you are who you are, and you just go with it. You know. So how does it feel to know that the universe is giving you permission to kind of philosophically be a weirdo or a unique person, you know? So with Uranus in the 10th house, this is gonna make for someone who is very rebellious in their career. In your career, you are probably someone who, even though there's a structure or a way of doing things in your career or get the job done, you get off on doing things in a roundabout way. Like you do things in your own way to the point where your bosses or your higher ups are like, they scratch their heads or they're very angry at you or they're scared for a minute, like, oh my God, like you're doing what? But the result comes out successfully. Like you almost do it better than they do it, but you revolutionize the way it is being done. Like you are a rebel in your career. And so you are also someone who it's very like, shocking. You are shocking in your career. Whatever you are doing, whether it's in technology or just the way things are done or traditionally done, you forego tradition and you do things in your own way, and it gives you success. It gains you success and notoriety in that way. So you are probably known for someone in your career as being someone who's very rebellious. You do not like authority. You do not like anyone on you being like, you gotta do it this way, you gotta. For you, you're like, if you don't get out of my face, like if you don't get out of my, like a structure for you in your career, you're like, absolutely not. Like I'm gonna do this my way or the highway, or I don't have to work here. I really don't need to work here. Like I can go do something else. So yeah, that's Uranus in the 10th house. So how does it feel? How does it feel to be such a rebel in your career and be such a badass to the point where you make your higher ups angry, but you still are successful, and you make them angrier because you're successful at it, and like they've always thought it was being done one way or could only be done one way, and you do it a whole other way and come out more successful than they are. You come up with an end result that is more successful or better or more productive or more efficient than they have ever thought of. So how does it feel to be so cutting edge in your career? This is a very awesome placement. This makes for a very, very, very smart person and a very like avant-garde thinker in your career. You're very inventive or enterprising, very just like you are on it. You know trends like you could project a good trend. You know what people want, you know what people need, and you know it before they even know it. So yeah, with Uranus in the 11th house, this is actually, I want to say this sign is at home here. It is, because it's an Aquarius house. And so this is gonna make for someone who's probably very, you have a lot of friends, but at the same time your friends are very unique and very quirky and very, you know, they all can stand in their own right. This gives me very much like X-Men vibes, where it's like, you know how in X-Men, it was an organization, it was a house of different type of mutants with different type of powers, right? But each of them could have their own movie. Each of them is a equal contender or a standalone superhero that can hold their own. Like that for you is the ideal community you want to be a part of. You want to be in a community of different types of cool, far out superheroes with people who do their own thing. But each of you, when you come together, you just make the world a better place and do these things, but in your own right. You don't enmesh too much to where when people see you guys, it's just the group. It's just the cohesive unit. No, it's like you guys are this, but you're also that on your own. You can hold your own, you know, like. So yeah, this also gives me the vibes of someone who's gonna bring something technologically driven to the world in the future. Whenever I see 11th house placements, I really encourage those that have 11th house placements to do something with it, you know, and with this particular planet, this makes for someone who's gonna make something that is very futuristic or very far out within their thinking, or a product, something you bring to the table that maybe more technologically driven is going to kind of change and help the world. And so I would really go and tinker with something or do something that, like, you want to invent or bring to the table. I would bring it to the table. I would really do it because it could probably help a lot of people. So with Uranus in the 12th house, Uranus in the 12th house is going to make for someone who probably has had a very strange go with spirituality. You are someone who probably had a very weird experience, a very striking experiences with spirituality. You probably rebel against spirituality in some way, shape, or form, or you don't like it, or the spirituality that you do find yourself in is very weird. Like, even to the spiritual people, the way you're spiritual or the way you commune with spirit is very striking and weird. You probably confuse technology and spirit with the same thing. Like, when you hold technology or when new technology is being presented, it's probably the most spiritual thing to you. Like, technology for you is spiritual. So for me, this is almost like an electrician or someone who invents something, and, like, you know how people can be so invested in their art or their creativity that they see God in that thing. This could make for, like, I imagine someone who's creating something like AI or, you know, like, yeah, like AI, right? And they create it to the level where they see God in that. It's like, oh my God, I'm creating this new life form that is going to, like, change the world, and I see God in this. This is how God created me, and so I'm gonna create this AI, and, like, you know, I don't know, for you, technology and invention is spiritual to you, and you probably rebel against spirituality. You are probably very scientific. That's what it is. You are probably very scientific than you are spiritual, but spirit and science are one and the same. You've just chosen to go the more logical, technological route. Boom, that's what it is. Boom, I got it, I did it again. That's what it is. You are scientifically driven. For you, science is spirit. Science is spirituality. Science is what we're trying to conceive and everything. That is what you commune with God, is through numbers and figures and equations and inventions and things like that. Like, that for you is, yeah. So that was my Planets Through the Houses series. I think that was the 10th part of the series. I think I'm gonna do Chiron next. I'm not quite sure. I think I wanna incorporate that in the planets, like, why not? And if anyone needs a birth chart reading, a love or destiny and career reading, I'm sure the stars have a message for you and a solution for you, and I would love to relay the message. Hit my links below for any of those services, and I will see y'all on the next video, all right?